No.
What happened?
Why am I not focused? And then, why are you laughing?
Because I'm doing the signal.
I was trying to tell you louder.
Hi. Oh. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number fourth episode. And today we will be taking a dive into a well-needed topic, something that we always need to talk about: self-care. Something that some of us kind of push to the side sometimes, but we're going to have a conversation about what self-care looks like and how has it evolved. Because self-care for someone probably 5 years ago doesn't look the same now. So how has it evolved?
Yeah, so for me, self-care means just being able to pause. So being able to take a pause from your work, your personal life, and just being present in order to maintain that positive, like mental and physical well-being. And for me, self-care has definitely evolved over the years from when I first started in education until now, because my workload is completely different and my personal life has changed since then. Like I remember when I first started, my self-care was basically shopping and going home and taking a nap. Now that I have more responsibilities as a teacher and as an adult, my self-care looks completely different. Sometimes I don't even have that time. And sometimes my self-care that I do now it's shorter than what it used to be when I was younger. So it's definitely changed.
Self-care to me means an activity that you do that would make you relax, remove anxiety, that will help you take care of your mental, physical, and emotional well-being and whatnot. So for me, self-care prior to COVID-19 involved a lot of shopping online and in the store. I would go to Kings Plaza Mall for no reason and Gateway Mall for no reason. And it's that made me very happy. But now, just once it's 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, just laying down in the bed waiting for me to fall asleep, that self-care, as well as just watching garbage TV, that makes me feel so good. Yeah. And just talking to somebody about it, like I found Tabby, who's like a garbage TV watcher, yes. And we just talk about it, and it feels so good just doing that. So yeah, sorry Tabby, I put you on the spot.
Yes, we did. I think anyone know I watch garbage TV.
I don't watch garbage TV.
Educator over here, girl.
For me, self-care means just like Jills and Tabby, just doing things that calm you down, and just things that you do to take care of yourself, and you're emotionally and just mentally, and I don't know, just everything. You just want to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm. And how has it evolved for you?
For me, it has evolved. Before, my self-care was, me and Tabby would wait till 3 o'clock, then we'll walk to the mall, and we'll go around and around and around and fill up a shopping cart, and then walk out with nothing.
Left that part out.
We love going into the supermarket to get avocados, guava, and mangoes. That's exactly what we were looking for. And now my self-care routine has evolved where I can do a lot of things, with a partner or with somebody else. And yeah, I don't know. Doing things with Irvin is like maybe watching a movie. But I really do enjoy now working out. I feel like now I have the time, so I could do that. So it has evolved. I'm doing more things that I wasn't doing before.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For me, self-care means pretty much what all of you said, as far as, just finding a way to deal with other anxiety, finding time for yourself, finding that moment that just makes you happy and takes you away from other things. I thought I was good at self-care. I like taking walks, I like watching TV and decompressing. I was judgy. I would judge people who'd be like, oh, I need to drink wine to calm. I'm like, no, I don't need that. I just need outside, some fresh air and some water. But then I realized, like, it changed a lot for me, you know, after, like, the end of last year was just really hard. And I realized, like, I don't have good self-care practices because I can't deal, you know, with just my emotions as well. You know, I was really sad and I didn't know how to deal with it. So then I had to start finding other things. And then I realized, you know, journaling. I was really hot on it, and then COVID came and it slowed down a bit, but it's still there. But journaling was something that I never thought I would do. And now I'm like, oh, it's really calming. Meditating, listening to music was always on the list, and it's still on the list. So that's another thing. Working out. I wonder if I can consider that self-care because I kind of hate it, but I kind of like it. It's weird, but yeah, working out. So it changed because I realized I had to find better ways to cope, and I didn't have those. And I really had to reflect on it when Tabby came to lunch, when it was New Year's, like, what are your goals? That made me really, like, start thinking about it. I was like, that's something I needed to work on, and I'm glad that I did. So yeah.
So for me, I am very reflective, and I have twin boys. So at the point when, you know, when I had Nikki alone, it was like, okay, calm, Nikki gets her homework done, everything was just perfectly fine. When those two boys came into my life, self-care went out. I did not, honestly, it was just what self-care, just I have to make sure that they're okay. And I kept, you know, I just kept going on. And then I was committed to work. So it was just from work to home, work to home. And, you know, occasionally I might stop to think, okay, you need to do something for yourself, Charlie. And then I spoke, you know, after speaking with some friends, and they told me, you have to make sure you make an effort to schedule time in for yourself. You need to make sure, just don't say you're going to do it, just don't keep saying you're going to do it, and it will never happen, as a matter of fact. So, you know, for the past few years, I've become more cognizant of that, and I've started to make sure that I, you know, put aside time for me. And, you know, some people think self-care, oh, I gotta go to the spa, I gotta go get my nails, and I have to do all of that. For me, no. Self-care is whatever makes me happy. So just staying at home, journaling, like Shireen said, you guys know I love to write. So journaling, I'm the type of person, I'll be sleeping, and yeah, I get up at 2:00 because I remember something that I want to add to a poem, something I want to put in a book that I'm writing, or something. I just, you know, write it down just right away, because once it comes to me, that's it. And I just, you know, put it on. So that I'm always, to me, that's self-care. If you have a passion, something that you always wanted to do, that's taking time out of regular scheduled things like work and taking care of your family, that you can do for yourself. So it's self-care. So it's something that you do for yourself that actually makes you relieve stress and, you know, anxiety, just calms you, and, you know, makes you feel better as a person. Because, you know, sometimes we have goals that we have for ourselves, and because we put everything else in front of that, then we don't get to accomplish those goals, and then that becomes a burden to you because you feel like, oh, I should have done this and I should have done that and I should have you know, and just simple goals. I'm not talking about anything drastic or anything, you know, big, but just simple things that you want to do for yourself. So I have made a conscious effort to make sure that I'm doing all of those things. And, you know, once I'm happy, if I'm laying down, getting extra rest, watching a movie with the kids, watching a movie with my husband, self-care.
Eating that chocolate that, even though I'm on a diet, I can't eat. Self-care.
Yes. You made a very good point when you said, like, you have to schedule it, because I feel like I will tell myself, like, every new year, this is what my self-care is going to be. And then as soon as it gets to mid-January or March, what self-care?
Yeah.
So the career that we're in, and around that time of the year, it's so busy. I feel like that's very, very important when it comes to self-care, is making a conscious effort and just saying, it doesn't matter if the house is burning down. At 5:00 every day on Monday, this is what I am going to do. And I'm going to definitely make that change when it comes to my self-care routine, because right now it's whenever I can get it.
Yeah.
But I feel like, sometimes we designate like one day to do that, but I feel like it has to be more than one day a week. Like you have to put those practices in place 3 times a week or even 4, just because of the career that we're in, the country that we live in, and just the lives that we have aside from our career, our personal life. That could take a toll on us, and I feel like we need to schedule those self-care days more than once a week.
Absolutely.
My self-care, for me, it's more of a political statement. Me sleeping in the middle of the day, to me, that's a political statement. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I realize in America, people, and I mean in America, because when I was back in Haiti, people didn't used to do that. They go to work, come back home, go to sleep, go to work, come back home, go to sleep. It's literally 3 things. And then on Sunday, they go to church. Most people don't get to really stop and then say, well, I'm going to do something I want to do that's not like on the schedule for work or just something to do at home. So you taking that time to take self-care is just saying, well, I'm not going to follow into that, go to work, come home, do more work, and then go to sleep. So you taking the time to just appreciate yourself, sort of,
Yeah, because that could happen pretty easy living here. Like, go work, home, and, we kind of get in that cycle too. And like Tabby and a little bit what Gladys was saying, well, Charlie, I brought it up, with the scheduling, right? Like, I would schedule, even though I said, I was good with walks and stuff, that would just be one day, Saturday, So it's just one day a week. And I'm kind of just glad you brought it up just now, because it's something I have to like keep in my head for other things, because the only thing I schedule is journaling, because you guys are writers, but I'm not. So I have to make myself write it down, like write down those thoughts or whatever. So I schedule journaling, but now like you're pushing me to schedule other things to have that self-care time, and I like that.
How I think of it is just like how we have a schedule for work and you write down everything that you're going to get done for work. I have forced myself now to write down every day, what am I doing for me? So if today it's exercising, I'm writing it down. If I'm going to do some writing, I'm writing it down. So whatever I'm doing, and I go back and I check. And I will beat up on myself if, hey, you did not exercise today, or you did not write in that journal today. So make sure, you get it done. So I feel like when you schedule it and then you write it down, you hold yourself accountable, because if you're going to check in, because I used to write down stuff and just not go back to look at it at all. But no, I make sure, okay, let me go see what I had written down for this week. And, that pushes you to actually take some time for you.
Yeah.
And if you could just get someone to be your accountable partner, the person you live with, or even your children, because kids like to remind you of things you didn't do.
They do. We've talked now about self-care and what self-care looks like to us, but why is it important? Like, why is it important that we take time for self-care?
I think it's important. Like I mentioned before, I had to find ways to cope. So for me, I realized how important it was, because I couldn't deal with the anxiety that Jules mentioned, or, the sadness or the anger or whatever emotion I was feeling. I didn't have a way to deal with it. And I realized it's because I'm on go, like, okay, work, home, do this, plan this. And then, it was just always something to do. And I'm not good at dealing with things. So I would always find something else to do. So that is in the back of my mind. And then I realized, no, one of the reasons why self-care is important, because you have to take care of yourself in that way, or you're going to lose your mind. Imagine not having self-care during this time of COVID-19. Oh my gosh.
And just overall,
you're going to lose your mind. That's why it's important.
I think that as educators and just as women from the Caribbean, we are always very caring, and we're taking care of others constantly. So it is important that we take time to take care of ourselves, because we could just go on and on and on, just on to the next thing, see who needs me, I'm there for that person, but we're often kind of neglect ourselves, and we forget that we also need to take some time for ourselves. So it is extremely important, because if you do not take care of yourself, it comes out in very ugly ways.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, for me, I misplaced my energy or
Mhm.
emotions. Unfortunately, my husband's on the receiving end, so self-care, it definitely helps to regulate. So just thinking of like our students in the classroom, when they get to do something they enjoy, it helps to regulate my energy and like in a positive way. And also I start to see myself in a positive way, like self-esteem wise. Like I start seeing the positive things about myself or the positive things that are happening in my life. Because a lot of time when I do use self-care is to bring myself out of like a negative space or to just pause and think. So
And it just I see it as having a relationship with yourself, right? Because you have different relationships with different members of your family, or different relationships with friends, or whoever you come across. So what about you? Because
yeah.
what okay, I have a relationship with Tabby, and I'm probably sharing something with Tabby that helps her. The same with Joe, the same with Gladys, the same with Shireen, the same with my family. So hey, where's the relationship with me? What am I telling myself? What am I doing for myself? So it's very important for us to understand that taking that time makes a difference. Because when we keep going on and we're like, oh, I got that done. All of that is done. And then what? My mother used to tell me, you're going to have a mental breakdown if you don't stop. And she was the same way. She kept on going on and on. But they tell you have to slow down. That mental breakdown thing it's no joke. It's serious.
And it's easy to say it to somebody else.
It is.
Not to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm very good to saying to somebody, do something that you like today. Try to see if you find a passion, a new hobby.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking to myself, like, I don't really do the things that I tell people to do.
That's so true. So true.
Well, I self-care because I'm a Taurus, and we go from 0 to 100 real quick, meaning that our emotions are not steady at all. And if I don't take the time to really stop and breathe and not overthink everything, it will drive me crazy. I will start crying for no reason, and I'll start blaming people around me for stuff that they have nothing to do with.
Oh, no.
Really?
So me just smiling or laughing at anything, it just helps me stay sane, And I'm grateful to have you guys, because I laugh at you, I laugh with you, I joke at you, I make jokes about you. In faith, of course. I make jokes about you, and we laugh together, and vice versa.
You hear this?
No, vice versa. I just made a joke about you, Tabby. It's gonna be in the bloopers, people. So it just helps me, like, just being able to laugh. That and everything else that I do for self-care just helps me stay sane, because there's so much going on, and I feel like if I'm not sane, how am I going to help the people around me, And I would just like Gladys and all of you have said, our job depends on us always helping somebody. Yeah. So if we're not really putting in the work with ourselves, like Charlie has said, have a relationship with yourself. How are we gonna do that if we don't have a relationship with ourselves?
Sure. We gotta date ourselves some more, right?
Exactly.
Date nights for ourselves.
And as an educator, when I just started, self-care was pretty much non-existent, as I said before. But I would just walk into the building, and I just leave everything behind me, whether no self-care or whatever. I just leave it behind me. But it made a difference when I started to make sure I took time for myself. You walked in, you knew, okay, you took care of yourself. Now it's time to take care of all these little people here. And then it just made a difference with how I felt and how I came to work, and how, what I brought to the table. So it is important.
Yeah. Self-care it is.
5 things for self-care. Number 1, sing and dance along to music. That it makes me feel so much better. Listen to the music that you love, sing out loud, make sure you're loud, and make sure you're dancing. That's number 1.
Number 2, laugh. Just laugh for no reason. Start laughing, and you will see you will laugh for real.
Number 3, read your favorite books. I love to read. Reading, we tell our students that reading takes you to a different place, and I feel the same way as an adult. So read your favorite books.
Hold on. Tabby, reading is what?
Fundamental.
Yeah.
Number 4, take a long bath. Run that water bill up. It is okay. It is self-care. So take that long hot shower if you need to.
And number 5, just have a relationship with yourself. Just make sure you take time to do that, and you should be okay.
Yeah. That's your 5. That's our 5 tips for you.
5 tips.
Yeah, we hope that you follow them and they make you feel better. Talking to these ladies really made me realize how much I had to spend time with myself. And I hope this conversation helped you as well. If you needed some self-care talk and tips.
And if you have any self-care tips that you've been using that shows to be successful, make sure you write them below.
Comment.
Oh, remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
And share.
Oh, yeah.
And share.
Yeah.
And just remember, self-care, it seems like a big burden when you don't do it, but once you start doing it and making that conscious effort to take care of yourself, it becomes a part of your lifestyle. It becomes something that's routine, and it just, you hold yourself accountable eventually. So just take it step by step. It's not, every day I have to make sure I'm doing this grand thing. Start out small, and then eventually you'll see the changes, and then it's something that you will definitely want to keep. So until next time.
Bye.
Bye, guys.